Broads Media.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome on into Sports Talk with Broads. It's too easy. It's too easy. What this was, okay, let's pretend we're watching a movie, and there's a couple high school kids, there's a group of jocks, and then there's the nerdier ones. I'm just saying, right? We've seen this before, and they all are in the bathroom, and by the end of it, someone's getting a swirly. Someone's head's in the toilet, and it's getting flushed. And by the way, there's a wedgie that's going over the back of the head before you walk back to class, okay? That's what the Phillies did to St. Louis. The Cardinals, their heads were in the toilet, and it was magical, okay? Let's pretend you work at Dunkin' Donuts, and when your shift is over, you throw all the expired food in the trash in the dumpster. Well, then you meet the group of guys in the back of the Dunkin' Donuts, and you throw them in the dumpster, and you close the lid, and you make them sit in that filth for 48 hours, okay? That's what just happened. It was an ass-kicking, and they scored so many damn runs. And the best part of it all is on Friday night and on Saturday night, we witnessed the Phils fall down early, right? There's a home run that occurred from Baker. He gets the ball back. Whoop-de-damn-do. You got destroyed. How about my guy? My guy, Christopher Sanchez. Another 6 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, and he doesn't walk a damn soul. Listen to this stat from Corey Seidman, okay? He has walked 10 of 259 batters. There's only 4 pitchers better than that in all of baseball, Zach Eflin being one. But it's so much. It's so valuable. There's so much to it when you're not walking the opposition. He's so great. He's so fantastic. It is beautiful to watch our 5th starter now. That wasn't the case with Bailey Falter. Now, before we continue, I need to inform you all and do a bit of some housekeeping. It's a side project that I'm working on in regards to Broads Media. If you are interested, you can go to Broads Media Gaming, which is a second YouTube channel. The link will be down below in the description. And you can also go to twitch.tv/Broads Media Gaming. I'm going to separate that identity from what we do here on Sports Talk with Broads and the traditional Broads Media YouTube channel that we use. Nothing is changing here. We're going to be nonstop talking about the Birds, talking Phillies run. There won't be a damn thing changing here. But if you are interested in following the side project of Call of Duty coming out this fall and NHL 24 is coming out, it's just an addition to. I want to point that out. But now let's get back to the meat and potatoes, okay? Bryce Harper's back. The guy just always comes up clutch. If we need him to tack on another RBI, if you're up a few runs and he can add another bit of insurance, he will. Now, he may get thrown out at second base when he's trying to stretch a single to a double, but I can't control that. That's always going to happen. That's the way he plays the game. I love the fact that if you need something, Bryce Harper will cash in. There's no doubt about it. There's not a lick in my body that thinks they will fail when Bryce Harper is swinging the baseball bat. Oh, wait, I haven't mentioned yet that Kyle Schwarber on the first pitch on Sunday afternoon, 1:30, while I'm watching AEW All In on the big screen, and I got the Phillies on my iPad, and I'm watching it on my lap, and I see that Schwarber with the first pitch, it's a moonshot, and they're up 1-0. That's weird. Kyle Schwarber's fucking incredible. Kyle Schwarber is amazing. Kyle Schwarber is a leadoff hitter, and somebody tweeted at me the second I tweeted that phrase out that Kyle Schwarber is a leadoff hitter. Wouldn't it be way sweeter and way nicer if it was, I don't know, a 2-run shot or a 3-run shot? No, that's my answer. No, it wouldn't. No. You know what would be sweet? A 1-0 lead right off the bat. He's amazing. You want to look at his walks? Appreciate it, baby. You want to look at his RBI? Appreciate it, baby. Ground rule doubles this weekend, knocks in a run. You name it, this team was able to get it. And the home run numbers in August blow your mind, as they should. The amount of runs they scored in the last 9 or 10 games blows your mind, as it should. Brandon Marsh, Nick Castellanos, they're smacking around the baseball when the game's basically over. I didn't have to sweat for 1 second. Were you sweating when Craig Kimbrell was on the bump with a few guys on base with a 3-0 lead? Not really. I wouldn't call that a sweat job because the St. Louis Cardinals, they're sad. They really have zero life. They are beat down. They know that they will get obliterated by this team. And the Phillies just took control. We've basically been waiting for this version of the team from first pitch early in the spring. And now we finally have it. The beautiful part about this is, well, we have it when it's the best time of the year to have it. This is when you need to be playing your best ball. Zach Wheeler, double-digit strikeouts, 7 innings. Aaron Nola, 9 strikeouts. You know, somebody mentioned to me after the first 2 games, so Aaron Nola was taking the bump, and we were questioning, would it be a sweep or would it be a disappointing Sunday afternoon where you're still happy, you're still pumped because they did their job, and they took the series and you move on to the next one? Why can't they kick a team when they're down? Why can't they take all 3? And then they brought, well, Aaron Nola's on the mound. Broads, do you feel confident? And I'm not taking a jab here at Aaron Nola at all. I was just looking at the opponent, and I thought, even Aaron Nola couldn't screw this one up. And seriously, that makes it seem negative towards him. Like I had zero faith in the guy. It's not that I have zero faith in the guy. I have a lot of concerns with him, but it doesn't mean he can't ever put it together. Of course he can. But I look at that Cardinals team, they are a gross group of individuals. They just don't know what to do out there. When they do almost make a catch at the left field wall, it bounces off the glove. The ball's in the glove. It bounces off the wall, pops out of the glove, hits you on the head, and then goes on the grass, and you're able to run the bases. You eventually get knocked in, so it doesn't matter if it was a home run or wasn't a home run. I thought maybe it would fly and go over the wall. It didn't. Whatever they do, they fail. Aaron Nola couldn't even screw this up. And I remember that person who brought it up to me even said, well, what if he allows 3 or 4 solo home runs? What if a few times the Cardinals pounce with some bombs? Okay, we'll match that and some. We'll hit 4. We'll hit 5. We're going to put 6, 7 on the scoreboard. Man, they scored 12 runs on Saturday night. They scored 7 runs on Friday. After falling behind, it just starts going. How about Garrett Stubbs? JT Realmuto not in the lineup on Friday night. And I actually like that move because, remember, they had an off day on Thursday. So he was able to get some rest and sort of get away a little bit. Don't worry about it. He was in a funk. Just breathe, JT. Let's get you off your feet. You always log a bunch of innings. Here's Garrett Stubbs, and you're down a couple runs. He hits a double and knocks in a few RBIs. Dude, that's so valuable that your backup catcher, not just any backup catcher, because a lot of teams run 2, and they do this thing where they split a lot of time, and both of them see a lot of at-bats, and that's what it is. That's not what happens here. Garrett Stubbs sits on his thumb for a long period of time. He's waiting. Now, he may be doing the double kiss to Bryce Harper. If you didn't see that pregame, a little Kardashian kiss, mwah, mwah. That's their thing, their pregame ritual, I guess, before they get going. I don't give a damn what you do. Just go mash baseballs, please. Just go take us to the promised land, will you? Give us a couple playoff series and get CPP on their feet, please. I don't care what you do before the game. But my point is with Garrett Stubbs, JT Realmuto takes up so much time. So there's a lot of added pressure when once in a blue moon, it's your day. Once in a while, we need you here. And we're down. Oh, what's that? You just tied the baseball game? Alec Bohm hit a home run. Now, this is where I'm starting to feel with the Alec Bohm experience, okay? I've shifted a little bit, which is massive news for me. I already, about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I forget, all this time meshes together. I already acknowledged that his ceiling defensively is way higher than I would have ever anticipated. I just thought he'd always be a poor defender, and then he'd have to make up for it with his bat. Similar to Rhys Hoskins, right? Rhys Hoskins can destroy baseballs, hit 30 homers, knock in 100 RBI, work great walks, force pitchers to throw 50 pitches in 2 innings, just spitballing here. You see that where the other team is struggling heavily because of how he works the plates. He's going to mess up in the field. That's Rhys Hoskins. I applied that same logic to Alec Bohm, reasonably so, for what we were seeing over at third base. So that's already highlighted a very close podcast not too long ago. I don't know what his power will eventually end up being. There was a time where I thought he'd be a 14, 15 guy. He should be 30, and I will stand on that. He should be 30. He should be high 20s. I never knew if he'd get to the 20 guy. We need him to get to the 20 guy, and there's still work to be done. I'm now acknowledging, though, that I think that could be in his bag. I think he can get there, which is massive because there's a difference with this team when he rakes. That's what I've been begging for forever, was that shot he had this weekend. So the fact that he's flirting around the possibility of sniffing 20, anything under 20 home runs for Alec Bohm is very, very, very unsatisfying to me. I don't think that that's good enough. I never thought he'd get there. Now I'm wondering, can he? And I really hope that 20 is in the very near future here. And then from there, I don't say, okay, I'm fine with that. I definitely still demand more. When can we make that jump to 23? When can we get that jump to 25? But I will put my hands up and say this kid has improved in a lot of different areas, and it wasn't too long ago when this organization had to rework all of his game. And it's so hard for someone to replenish one side of the field. Hey, man, you did terrible in the field last year. You have to make that up. By the way, your offensive approach sucked. You have to make that up too. That is so hard. It's so extremely difficult. He did it, and to his credit, I am enjoying his journey and watching how much more confident he is and how the game has slowed down. You hear that a lot in football when quarterbacks talk about progressing through their progressions and they're looking at the field. The game slows down. Same in the NHL. Very fast-paced game. Basketball. Baseball is different because you're not moving in the same light. But I'm using that as an example where I think the game of baseball has slowed down for Alec Bohm. He also muscled up in the offseason, 15 pounds, spring training, yada, yada, yada. I'm starting to see the confidence switch in his head, and I love it. I love it. I love Kyle Schwarber. I love Trey Turner. I love Bryson Stott. Bryson Stott's a star. He's a star. I got to give a shout out to my guy, Ray Dunn, because he tweeted this morning that he woke up just thinking, just wondering, what could Bryson Stott's ceiling be? And that's been on his mind all morning long. It's a great thought, Ray. It's a great thought. I think there's a lot of Philadelphians and South Jerseyans who think the same exact thing when they're having their cup of coffee and they're ready to digest the day and say, okay, we got a day ahead of us. What do I need to do? They start looking at their to-do list, and on the to-do list, behind bring the dog to the vet, behind go to ShopRite and pick up some salads, behind pick up medicine from CVS. It's on there. Figure out what the hell Bryson Stott's gonna be for this franchise. Is he Chase Utley 2.0? He very well may be. Oh, could you imagine? When he smoked a home run. Oh, when he plays a second base and has a stellar glove. Oh, wait 3 years down the road. This is what we have now? It's so early. He's a baby in Major League Baseball terms. This is what we have currently? I don't even know if we're going to be able to envision the ceiling properly. That's how much game he has. We're only getting started. This is what we're talking about, baby, right here. This is the team that we love and that we are obsessed with. Puts a smile on my face, and what else puts a smile on my face is the Anytime Hotline. So let's listen to all of you out there who watched the games this weekend and called in. Here we go.
That right there is the Philadelphia Phillies that I've been begging for, screaming for basically the entire 2023 season.
Yup.
We've been Jekyll and Hyde the team for a long time, but these last couple of weeks, even with a couple of series losses we've had, have instilled so much confidence in me, and hopefully confidence in our guys, too. Aaron Nola's pitching beautifully the last couple of outings. I'm still on the fence with him, honestly, just because of his inconsistency, but he put up 2 really strong starts these last goes, and I couldn't be happier about that. I think we got a good postseason run brewing here. Cannot wait for the next series.
Okay, yeah, listen, you're right about his last few starts. You know, he did go 7 against the Giants, allowed 2 earned runs. So, basically, here's where we're at with Aaron Nola. And I know we kind of look long-term with him. Real quick, before we get to Aaron Nola, something you brought up about this team, and hopefully they can find that confidence too. And I mentioned that with Alec Bohm as an individual growing at this level. But as a core group, I feel they always knew this was possible. Now, maybe us as a fan base needed to be proven, and they had to show us that. But Rob Thompson has made it very clear from the jump. There's too much talent in here. For some reason, it wasn't happening on the field, but in that clubhouse, I don't know if the confidence ever wavered. I thought they knew that it was in there. Winning a few games here and there and putting together an awesome August and smoking the baseball around, I don't think they ever questioned if they could. It just wasn't happening, and they were stressing, and they were putting a lot of pressure on them to flip the switch and finally get out of that rut. But deep down internally, they believed it was possible. I do get a sense of that as an entire group. Now, to the Aaron Nola thing. Aaron Nola, whether you like it or not, he's going to get the ball in a 3-game playoff series. It's Zach Wheeler, it's Aaron Nola. And this is a longer-term question, but what happens after that? Michael Lorenzen has flopped his last 2 starts. Ranger Suarez doesn't look right. Taijuan Walker gets shelled in the beginning of games, but then has a savviness to him of figuring it out. Is it Taijuan Walker? Ranger and Michael Lorenzen with experience in the pen? I don't see it being Christopher Sanchez as much as I am obsessed with the Christopher Sanchez life. You would probably go with a big signing in Taijuan Walker, a veteran guy, over a young Christopher Sanchez who's asked to be a 5th starter, of course. Just looking at Taijuan Walker, in the first innings compared to the rest of the game, blows my mind. A 6.57 ERA. And if he is to pitch, if it's a 3rd game in a wild card. Now, if it's a first game because you take the first 2, a different story. I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking, you win with Wheeler and Nola, you see what else shakes out, and then from there, you attack. But if it's a game 3 and you need him to grab the ball, you fall down behind early because the first inning ERA is trash. Well, that's going to set yourself up miserably. With that said, though, this team can destroy the baseball and then come back very quickly and fight from behind, but you don't want to put yourself in that position. After that, 4.50 ERA in the second inning, 4.12 ERA in the third inning. These numbers aren't very sensational. Doesn't instill a lot of good baseball thoughts. I just don't know what else you do because Lorenzen looks flat. Ranger is And in theory, bringing up the name Christopher Sanchez is okay. It's not, though. But it is. It's not, though. Talk about one guy who's willing to walk a ton of hitters compared to one guy who can't walk someone even if he tried. It's crazy, right? Am I overthinking this? Or am I not thinking about it enough? Am I simplifying it because of the name Taijuan Walker and what he's done in this league before? Not that he's been anything wow, but he's just a guy who's been a veteran, or is a veteran now, been in the league a long time, has pitched a lot of innings. I don't know. What's next?
What's up, bros? Great weekend of baseball. I was very happy with this team. They just played solid ball, not the up and down kind of ball that they've been playing all season, and I think that's what's most encouraging. And Knowles, he had a great start today. It really put a smile on my face. Go Phils.
Okay, so the Aaron Nola love. I enjoyed it, man. I enjoyed watching all of the strikeouts. I enjoyed seeing his name on the list with very important Phillies. A lot of guys that we've watched and a lot of guys that have dominated with the Phillies uniform on. He has been here for a long time, and there's nothing better than seeing him excel. I want him to be dominant. I need it. I need it in my veins. I demand it. That's what is going to help take this team to the next level. It's not just the offense. Yes, the offense is getting the praise, and we're finally realizing that they mash. There's also another element to this, though. You're getting great starting pitching. You're getting good bullpen. You're getting Craig Kimbrell, who's saving the game. There's a lot more than just hitting home runs and the power shining. It's all forming together as one. And if you remove the great Aaron Nola from last year and what they did during the fall and in that postseason run, you're nowhere even close to where you were. So Aaron Nola, the fact that we've seen 2 games now where you've went the distance, where you haven't been getting shelled. There wasn't one inning where he lost control and got smoked. Because how many times has that happened? You're up 4 or 5 runs. It's ridiculous. It's the opposite of when Taijuan Walker's out there. It's the opposite when they lose the lead early and then the offense has a big-time flow and a surge. No, when Aaron Nola gets gifted the 5-0 lead, you lose 7-6. You lose 7-5. In the 4th inning, there's 3 home runs hit. There's 2 home runs hit. There's guys on base, and then the whole game becomes a slop fest because he doesn't know what to do when someone's on base. We saw a completely different Aaron Nola. We saw someone who felt the pitches were coming out of his hand nice and beautiful, and that's what it's going to take. So the last couple, nod your head, appreciate, and hope that this continues.
Gotta love a sweep, bros. Man, the pitching in this series was incredible. Sanchez, Wheeler, Nola, all of them dealing. You love to see it going into September. And hey, I know the Cardinals don't have the greatest pitching in the world, but the bats took care of them, took care of their pitchers, and absolutely blew this team out. 3 fantastic wins to roll into the next series and just keep rolling straight to October. Go Phils, baby.
Go Phils, baby. And you're right. The Cardinals suck. They are a team that's embarrassing. They don't know how to play the sport of baseball right now. What are you supposed to do, though, when that team is in your ballpark? When they travel from St. Louis and they come here to South Philly and they're in their hotel room and they grab their stuff and they get the CBP, they're supposed to lose. What was it, 12-1? They're supposed to lose 7-2. I forgot Saturday's score because, it was a different score. And then at the end, it was like home run, home run, home run, home run, home run, more runs, 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 more runs. All it was more runs. I didn't know if I made that clear enough that they kept scoring more runs, so I forgot when I was doing the math and I was trying to add it up and I was thinking about the final. What was it again? I forgot because they just kept scoring more runs. They win 12-1. It's supposed to be that lopsided. And Sunday, you didn't do the double-digit thing. I know nice and early, though, when it's 1-0 when you throw one pitch, you die a little bit inside. Not one of these days. It sets the tone. Damn it! Everyone's shoulders fall. The head goes down. You feel horrible. There's no fight because there's no belief that you can do anything because you're trash. And that's what you're supposed to do when you're the Phillies. And they executed it perfectly. It was a masterpiece. I love it. I love it. Think about everything we've done to this point. I just want to let it sink in. We're finally here. Finally. We've done a lot. You can go back and listen to the pods. There have been a lot of post-game shows, 1 billion of them. And how much time did I spend freaking out? And I want to make a point real quick before we get to the next call. Because there are some out there that approach baseball differently than I do. I know it's a long journey, and I get that they can look like a totally different team when it's late August compared to where they are in June. So there have been some fans, some people who aren't fans, some listeners, some supporters, whatever. However you consume this, you hate listen, you love listen, whatever it is, that think I take it too far on a night-to-night basis because when it's all said and done, they will be in the playoffs. So you reacting and you freaking out and you feeling a certain type of way on a random Wednesday in the middle of the summer, it's irrelevant and it's a waste because you're going to love them in September. You're going to love them in... Whoa, first off, how am I supposed to know I'm going to love them in September? I didn't even love them in September last year. I haven't loved them in September in 1 billion years. I can't just automatically assume I'm going to love them, and I still stand by that point now. If that's the case, you're entitled to watching baseball however you want. I prefer talking about what I see on a random Wednesday in June, discussing what I like and what I don't like. When they run the bases poorly and they are horrible and getting picked off and failing with runners in score position, I notice that. I speak about it. I discuss it. That's what I like to do. Don't tell me that I'm supposed to have zero thoughts, zero opinions, zero emotion until September and we'll see what happens. At that point, do you like baseball or not? Because I find it, while frustrating and while sometimes very, very low as a sports fan, there's times where they put us that low and I am raging. That's what this is all about. It's about the journey. So I'm supposed to not care about what they do? Hey, don't talk about anything. Don't bring up the negatives. Don't bring up the positives. Don't love what they're doing. Don't hate what they're doing because by September and October, they'll be what they are. What the hell is that? I don't get that way of thinking. I don't understand that way of being a sports fan. That's like saying, okay, the Eagles, for example, they're going to play X amount of regular season games, right? I say X because who knows? I wouldn't be surprised if Roger Goodell calls tomorrow and demands that there's 19 regular season games. So X amount, it's ever changing. It'll be here before you know it. You know the Eagles are good. So you can't get mad if you don't like their defense in week 3 because they're good. You can't react. That is so dumb to me. So dumb. Anyway, next call.
Hey, bros, I just want to say 42. Well, right now is the magic number. So I know it's only 7th inning. Anything can happen. But
real quick, this call came in on Saturday. So this was a Saturday night call.
But think about that for a sec. 42 home runs in August. Unheard of. Like, I know people are saying Braves and Dodgers, are big contenders in the NL right now. But why are people looking the other way on the Phillies? They look so unbelievable. I think this team has an easier shot at the World Series compared to last year. This is monumental. Go Phils.
I don't know. I don't know if I can say that fully. Remember, with that Atlanta Braves series, there was some weird stuff going on with their pitching staff, and that mattered, right? And you took advantage of it, but they did have some wonkiness going on there. Why? Because the Braves are just consistent every single year. They're always great. And you could say, well, they don't have a ton of World Series rings to show for it. And you're right. I don't really have a rebuttal to that. It's very difficult to win a World Series. But that sort of sounded like last year when they lost the World Series. They're going to get right back. Well, I don't know, because you're naming all these great teams, and the Dodgers won a World Series finally. They're always fantastic. They're always winning 100-plus win seasons. They win during a COVID year that's shortened. That doesn't take away their championship. It's just so hard. I don't know. I can't say they can easily get back. They have just as much of a chance. I don't know. I can't say that because it's so hard to do. It's very, 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 very difficult to get to the World Series. It's hard to even get to that final 7-game set. So I don't know. But why? It's because, well, every single year, they're in the mix way more than the Phillies have ever been. All the Atlanta Braves do is win this division. As great as the Phillies have been, the Braves are that much better. Regular season play, things can turn around when they have to come to this ballpark and they have a tough time winning in this atmosphere. I'm not ruling it out at all. But I think feeling the high a little bit, that call, and I hate to end on this type of note because I am stoked with this team, that sounded as if, well, they're a lock because they're playing this high. Well, there's other teams that do this. They do it a lot longer than we have. That's the difference. Is why do people mention the teams Atlanta? Why do people mention these other teams? Because they do what the Phillies are doing for like 4 months. They do it for a long period of time. We finally got this, and that's magnificent. But the difference between being a wild card team and a team that's winning your division is you do this all the time. So what we're experiencing now, they get to experience nonstop. They get to experience that basically every series. I don't think there's a lot of what's the word? Analysts, maybe I'll say analysts. I'm looking for a different word though, and it's not going to come to me. But let's say the analysts out there and the people who cover the team, national attention, all that, they won't rule out the Phillies when it's that time. When the broadcasts change, you're watching on Fox, it's more intense. I will say the Saturday night game, for it being on Fox, it felt big again. Not that NBC Sports Philadelphia doesn't feel big. You just know the transition to national broadcast when it's the postseason. It's smelling like that again. We're getting there. We're inching our way there. Anyway, those are my thoughts. We'll wrap things up. I love you all. You're great people. Love you, love you, love you. I'll throw in the side hustle again real quick. If you are interested, all the information's in the description down below. Broads Media Gaming. If you want to check out Call of Duty stuff, NHL, MLB The Show, you name it. We're just going to separate both identities. So if you are fascinated in that area, you know where to go. All right, everyone. We'll be talking soon. See you on the next one.